Hi, my name is Sally Barnard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995 Studio A. And now onto the show. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my show. Thank you, all my loyal listeners. I hope that everybody that's watching my show tunes it. Most of them, it seems like they are tuning in every week, and they're sharing it with people. So I love that. Continue, please, doing that. And the other thing, also, you can find me on YouTube too, under Sally Barnard. Oh, and I think it's also Call Me Zena. So on with the show. We have some nice questions today on out of body. So if you guys want to ask me something,
you want to set this up?
Well, I can by telling or explaining, but I think probably my viewers that are listening probably know what an out of body experience is. They may not necessarily have had one, but they'll know what it's all about. So
what is it?
Well, an out-of-body actually usually, there's two types of, I believe, out-of-body experiences. One, if, you're unfortunate enough, but you have the out-of-body, which is okay. If you have a car accident or you're in an accident and they actually the doctors will say, well, your heart stops, and they start it up again. But many people in that particular mode, when they're at that point, do leave their body. As soon as your heart stops, you just leave your body. And many, many people today have come back with stories of what had happened to them during that process. So basically, I would assume they are brain dead. And they've had over the years many ways of explaining when you're brain dead and you come back. But today, and we are learning so much more now, and it's so much more out in the open, the experiences that people have, whilst they're not exactly the same, they all kind of explain where they're going and what happened. And many, many people that come back, that normally you would say, well, they died, and unfortunately they go to the other side. But when you have an out of body, you don't actually touch the other side, but you hear and you see beings. And I've been told about that. It's not, if you actually cross over, you don't come back, but you go to a place where everybody is going to be there, maybe to greet you or has a message. And it's a little complicated to explain, but basically, you die and you come back, and if you're told to, usually to come back, and most people they say when they've come back and you ask them about it, they say they really wanted to stay there, but they come back for their family and their loved ones. It's a very happy
So you're
place.
conscious of the fact that you're having an out of body and you're directing how to
Well, it's not brought on. You don't suddenly say, that's a different thing, because astral projection is slightly different, but an out of body happens to you. Everybody has one. When they die, they have the out of body and then they go to the other side. But many people, especially with medicine today, they can bring people back. And thousands and thousands of people this has happened to. No, probably not a lot of people always talk about it because they may think they were, hallucinating or something. But they all basically say similar things. But the people talking to them are all different people, and they very often are asked that do they want to stay or go back.
If you have an out of body, let's say you're sick, and there's an out of body that's going on, and you how do I put this? An illness out of body as opposed to a self-inflicted wound out of body. Can those experiences be different?
Well, no, because an out of body is an out of body experience, no matter how, be it in an accident, maybe, it's a suicide and they wanted to go, but they come back. You don't actually.
But those are are the two questions I'm asking.
Yes, that's what I thought. But the thing is, it's on the individual. It's like me. They don't know what's happening, so it's we think it's out of our own control, but the situation of when you have an out of body is exactly the same. You leave your body. as anybody. It doesn't matter how that happened, be an accident or self-inflicted or anything. It doesn't matter. They're still going to, if they're leaving their outer body and they come back to tell the story, they've all had in the beginning a similar experience.
But it doesn't matter if you take your own life as opposed to you being in an accident?
No, absolutely not. I mean, they're telling me that, and I truly, truly believe that it does not matter.
It's just the body leaving.
It's the body leaving, and you
under
go
any
somewhere.
circumstances.
Under absolutely any circumstance.
So drowning and being burned, it doesn't make a difference?
No different. I see now. Yeah, absolutely no. We're all the same. We all have the same similar experiences. We come here and we live different lives, a different life. I do something different to you, and vice versa. Yes, but when we go, that's all the same. It can't be any different. We leave our body.
So it's not even if the mother dies during childbirth, there's no out-of-body experience.
Well, she's having, although if she dies, it goes. She's not there to tell the story. But people survive that and come back, and everybody that's come back has had the experience. Whether they remember it or not is a different story, because everybody also is very different. But the majority of people, it seems, because they've got so many stories today of people coming back, they come back. Now, on the flip side of that, I had many experiences when I left my body, because that's a different way. I astral projected. I went to different places, which is also now people are very aware of. It's like a dream type state, and you leave your body and you're in different places. My book is all about my travels that I had, and this was maybe 20 years ago now. Today, many, many more people understand this.
And people that they have an out-of-body experience, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a message involved. Are they witnessing something? Are they witnessing the room? Are they witnessing a message that's being sent to them? And then I'm going to ask you where that message comes from.
That's a great question, Freddie. Yes, because when you, the majority of people, we don't know how many people this has happened to. I just know it's a lot of people. But if you know someone personally, or you've listened to interviews, or people are even hypnotized can explain too what happened to them. Most of them leave the body and come back. And just give me the end of that, because I rely on my guides to tell me. What was the end part of the question?
Where's the message coming from?
Okay, that comes from different people, depending, where you are. There's usually always, when you actually cross over, there's someone to greet you. So the same thing happens when you're having an outer body, because you're now out of this dimension to make it easier, and you're in another place, another dimension. And the stories, I mean, I know what I wanted to say. They're telling me, when you come back from that and you remember it, I would venture to say that, and not even 9 out of 10 people, I should say that because I'm not sure, remember, and they are changed forever. The few people that I know that have had out-of-body experiences, they're totally different. It doesn't happen automatically, but they are given, I'm sure, given messages like, and they've said this, go back and you will do this and that type of thing. Because once you've had that, you know that there is so much more. And that whole experience is, there's no way that you can explain what you've seen. You can say it, but it's hard to believe it. Other people listening, but the person that has it knows exactly what they experienced. I was never the same. I was astral projecting. When I came back, it didn't happen all at once, but I knew that I was different. I was completely different.
Is it always when you're passing or transitioning? It's not when you're dreaming? It's always when you're moving into potentially
it depends how you get again, if it's an accident, you're not dreaming, you're just suddenly out cold. So, and then it maybe or maybe not your time to go. So you'll have the same experience as similar to what I have in my astral projection, but that also wasn't it was brought on by me, but I didn't know about it. I didn't know.
So have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
I've never, well, yes, because what I had, I can only tell you, it's very, very much the same, but it was a different way of doing it, because then I could say, well, I was dreaming, because I wake up in my bed. Someone that's had an out-of-body has usually had some sort of an accident, or whatever the reason is that they were dying, so they know where they were. It's a fine line there, although it is explained differently. You're still leaving your body. Actually, we all leave our body, but we don't all remember it. It's just the people that talk about it know that. But I mean, I say that broadly because I'm not 100% certain, but I think at night we all go somewhere else. Well, we're not doing it in our own room. We have dreams. A lot of those dreams there's an astral plane. So we go and we talk to people on the astral plane.
Two people sleeping in the same bed, can they interact their out-of-body experience?
Yes, you can. Aldo told me that too. You can have an experience and your partner not out of body, astral projection. Out of body, if it's an accident, you're dying on your own unless it's a plane crash or something. So I'm not certain, but actually what I was about to say is astral projection. You don't always have to go on your own. In fact, I have a friend only from Facebook who has these astral projections, and she's in Australia, and we've often talked saying that we could fly. I could meet her, but not going there, but I could meet up on the astral plane.
You can plan it?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
So you can control an out-of-body experience more than people realize.
You can't control the out-of-body is because if it's an accident, it's taken from you at that point.
But what if it isn't?
Well, you can the best way to answer that, an out-of-body is you've left for sure your body, but you come back into it. Well, you do anyway with astral projection, right. But it's you're about to die, let's say, or transition into the other side. So that's different to an astral projection. You do not pass in you don't leave. You leave your body, but you always come back. You don't pass.
Well, we wanted to talk today about how you can have an out-of-body experience and how you shape your life with that piece of information.
Well, you will do, because you are given messages from whomever. I mean, everybody has a different type of experience.
But this is the question, though, Sally. Yeah. The whomever can be a whole assortment of places, or is there one place where those questions are being asked from?
Well, that's also difficult because, you know, I had an astral projection. I know I was on the astral plane, but I also went to different places. And out of body is an accident and you actually die. But you haven't died physically yet because you're still able to come back. But the doctors, anybody sitting there, will at that point say, no, there's no heartbeat, or you flatlined, and then you come back. That's different to an astral projection, because an astral projection, that doesn't happen. The messages you get are different for everybody. I can't tell you whoever, maybe even written in, who spoke to that person. I can only tell you what may have happened to them during that process. Because we're all individual, we all have different friends, right? And my friends you don't know, or vice versa. It's the same thing when you go to the other side. You have your group of people there. So they're aware of you, but I think I don't know if you meet 10 people or one person when you come back. It depends on the actual out-of-body experience. But they're the ones that give you the messages.
And you have some questions people have written in.
Yes, I'm just trying to clarify.
Because out-of-body experience is different than astral projection.
That's my question.
And it seems to be out-of-body is when you're in limbo. Are you going to pass?
That's right.
Or not? Although you had that dream, and you had that dream where you guys were both in bed screaming.
That we didn't have out-of-body.
That was not out-of-body?
That was astral projection. That's what I'm trying to explain. We weren't, we were not in bed together. We were somewhere. I have to clarify that.
Yes, we were.
You were in a different place than I was, okay?
Right.
But we happened to have we had the same experience at more or less the same time.
But that wasn't an out-of-body experience then,
no,
your
that was an
interpretation.
astral experience. Let's call it astral projection.
I called it a nightmare.
It's actually not that difficult it's probably harder to explain, because when you get it, you understand it. There's a difference. Usually, let's say you were about to die physically, everything was going to go, and then you have that out of body, and most people don't come back. It's only a percentage of people that have had that and are able to come back here. Astral, when you're astral, you're not dying. You're exactly the same as when you left. Nothing changes.
You got this?
No, do you understand it, Dawn, right?
Yeah, so out of body is you really have to be transitioning to the other side.
Thank you.
You're not doing it with your full everything on this side.
Okay, when does that definition happen? When I don't come back?
Well, yes, but then you have to go through somebody like me to say you're on the other side and I'm speaking to Freddie. If you have an out of body and you come back, I can talk to you in the studio. That's the best way to describe
I got people here describing what they think
Okay,
is
well,
out of
let's
body.
hear what they
let's
say.
hear what they say, yes.
But this is going to get confusing
No,
if
it
I
won't.
read.
It won't, as long as we kind of made sense a little bit just now, because most of my viewers will know the difference.
I don't even know the difference, and I'm sitting here. Emily Wilson from California writes, I had a dream where I was floating above my body,
Okay.
watching myself work. What does this mean about my current job satisfaction?
Well, if she was just watching herself working, and that's very possible. You know that you were up in the corner of this studio.
Right,
Right?
but he wasn't transitioning, so that's the
That's
question.
that's the astral. So that difference is if that person had had an accident and that had happened, because many people do say they're watching the doctors working.
I
That's
thought when
very
you
known.
die, you saw yourself floating out of your
Yes,
body.
you do, because many people come back, Freddie, and explain exactly what the doctors were doing, exactly what they were talking about.
Can we ask Aldo?
Aldo, please help me. He's smiling. You're doing okay. It's easy. It's not easy because it's a rather sad subject that they're dying and they come back. But how many people? They'll tell you what's going on.
Well,
A good
Emily didn't
explanation.
die because obviously
No,
she
I
wrote
think
the
she
question.
had an astral project. She was at her place of work. You can do that when you're astral playing.
Well, she thinks she had a dream,
Well, yes, it would come to you. Most of the time you think it's a dream.
and she was floating above her
That's
body.
what happens. First time it happened to me, I wanted to make sure, well, after I'd had it, that my fan was turned off in my room, which is silly because I thought I'm going to be flying, it'll cut my head off.
Are you
Had
physically
that have
leaving?
happened, I would have had an outer body.
Wow. Are you
But it
talking
was-
about physically leaving your body or spiritually?
No, spirit, your soul, you leave, your body is laying there. When I was found, as you were found, you had left your body because you come back paralyzed, only you don't usually get someone waking you up at that point. You didn't die. It was perfectly
I
okay
didn't?
what happened to you.
You know,
Does
they
that make
say in
sense, Dawn?
Judaism that your soul leaves your body every night.
I believe that
And when you
too.
wake up in the morning, there's a prayer that you're supposed to say, thanking God for returning your soul back to your body, that you are waking up.
I agree with that. I
So
mean,
with that, I guess our souls travel.
So
while
we
we
die
sleep.
every night.
We're not well.
you're not
essentially, our
dying.
souls do travel every
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
No,
Exactly,
you're
Dawn,
dying
thank
every
you.
night. What it is you're
Aldo's helping
reliving
you.
every morning. You're coming back to life.
Yes.
That's right. Now,
And we're supposed to say thank you every morning.
I didn't
Yes.
know
Soul
that. I
returning
didn't
to
know
our
that.
body.
That I know. That they told me that part. They
I
didn't tell
mean-
me the dying every night part.
Well, you don't die. You're projecting yourself somewhere else. That's
No,
the
you
best-
do die. It's just not
No.
death.
No, because I was woken up because I had been calling out. So Steve woke me up. He thought there was something wrong with me. He tried to wake me because I'm going help, which was very unusual because most of my travels have always been very pleasant. This one wasn't. And he well, it didn't shake me. I don't know what would have happened, but he kept saying, wanting to touch me. I couldn't talk.
And you were saying help.
I don't. That's the part I did before I came back. I was calling out help. When I was
That's
actually
what happened
back,
to me. I was saying,
Exactly.
help me.
Thank you.
I
In
couldn't get the
same
words
time-
out though.
No, I was just going to
But
say,
okay, but Sally, hold on.
Freddie,
Sally,
you've had the experience.
Sally, hold on. How the hell do I know I was thinking that, saying that? How is it that I could see what I could tell you what I was having the nightmare
Yeah,
about?
well, it was similar to mine because we were probably in the same place. Because
Out
it
of
happened at
body.
exactly the same time.
But that's not out of body.
That's an astral projection experience. You got it. If you had been out of body, the same thing could have happened, but you would have actually looked, someone would have looked at you and said, oh, he's passed. They would never. All we did was get paralyzed because you're paralyzed when you came back, you were paralyzed. Normally you don't wake
How
up at
do I
that
know?
point.
How do I know that this isn't part of a dream right now?
It is. But it's another
We
story.
discussed that this morning. I told you. I feel like we're all in this
That's-
suspended reality.
We are. It's an illusion.
I think
you
the
want to
two
talk
of you are
about
very
that?
Scary.
I
Very
can talk about
No,
that.
we're not talking. We're gonna stay with this because people wrote in. David Lee from New York. I dreamt I was outside my body, seeing my family from a new perspective.
Perfect.
How does this relate to my relationships? Now you got to remember, Sally, what we asked were, how does your out-of-body experience relate to your life? So obviously this relationship that he's in, David, him, doesn't seem like it's a little copacetic.
Well, again, I think nothing happens without, I believe, a purpose of some kind, especially if you leave your body and you find yourself seeing people maybe talking about you, anything. I'm not sure of his situation, but you can travel, you traveling. So well, Aldo was able to do this, so he might have wanted to know, well, he could sense what someone was saying, but he could physically go to that place. He wasn't dying, he was just traveling around and actually hear or see the people, what they were talking about. So this is proven. People will say, I saw you, other than an out of body, which is usually in a doctor's, a hospital. But, well, not always, no. But yes, you can go and listen to people if you want. I mean, you shouldn't do that. He told me never to do that because I could go to my neighbors' homes, I'd see the light in and I can fly in. He said, don't do that. That's rude. So it's kind of rude because the people can't see you unless they're fellow out-of-body experiences. They keep astral projection. I mean, you're getting me all confused now. That's an astral projection. It's not right to spy on people, but you can do it. You can.
So let me get this right. Every night I die, but I can.
No, you're not dying.
No, I'm not living because I'm not moving.
You're just not in your body. That doesn't mean to say you're dead. Because people.
But I'm not astral projecting. I mean, I am.
You are astral.
I'm not having a.
Dawn, get through to him because I can't.
All I know is at 3 o'clock this morning, I heard this loud smash in my house, and my mirror fell off a mirror and smashed on the floor.
You did that.
So I'm thinking it's at 3 a.m., which I know is the time when the veil is thinner.
Yeah.
It's either I did it and I traveled, or something or somebody was in my house and needed me to wake up.
I think probably you needed to wake up. I don't believe you did that yourself. I think someone from out of this physicality here did that. You needed to be disturbed for some reason. I don't think it was bad. I don't know if you experienced anything at that time.
A whole lot of stress and heart palpitations.
Well, okay.
And then you don't go back to, because you're laying there and you kind of know what smashed, but you're not sure. But it's always that mirror that falls off another mirror that does.
Well, there's usually a reason and a purpose behind it, unless there's some spirit just playing a game. But I think in your particular case, from what I feel, that you needed for some reason to be disturbed for something. It couldn't have been that
Why
bad.
is it that she's disturbed at 3 o'clock? Here we go with this.
Well, it could be anything.
Well, it could be a message.
It could be a message.
It could be something
I
specific.
think I know what it is. You were having an astral projection, and if you wake up, you usually remember it. So I think something, wherever you were, wanted to wake you up so that you will remember what you so-called really, you thought dreaming, but it was real. Does that make any sense to you?
I was thinking it was something like that.
Yeah.
It was something trying to get my attention.
Trying to get
sure.
which was not here in physicality. So they did a very drastic thing by knocking the window.
Something over in the middle of the night.
But
and it never breaks when it falls.
So there's your answer. Yeah.
What if you don't remember any dreams the night before?
Well, most people don't. You usually don't. Because we actually we don't remember what we did before we came in, because it's erased. It's not erased. Talking about before you come here, okay? Everybody has a memory of previous lives when you're not here. I think on the other side you remember because you do a life review. But when you come back into physicality here on Earth, you don't remember anything except for the people that have chosen to remember, and they're usually very spiritually aware, and they're at what we call awake. So they come in with remembering past lives, remembering people, remembering situations, but that's much rarer than most people. They can do it because they're old souls and have done it many times. Aldo did. He could remember most of his lives, but he didn't bring in every life, only the ones that were important for this life.
So I'm going to change it up on you.
Okay.
When I get up in the morning, I make the coffee, I feed the cat, I sit down, I put my pods in my ear, And then I go through different things on about 7 different social media platforms until I find the one thing that hits me. And it's like a message that I'm getting. And that one thing is what sets my tone for the day.
And I don't think that's not just, that's synchronicity with something.
Well, this happens to me every time I wake up.
Because you do that, and that's good because you're amazing at what you do, Freddie. So you
I
are.
don't even what am I doing? I have no idea.
Just being on the show and doing all that you do. But this is what you're meant to be doing because you're doing it, and you've been doing it quite a while, right? So you have guides that are guiding you. You don't necessarily ask them what you should be doing on your show because it's just ad lib and it's how it is, but they are very aware. So I do believe that they can, and I know Alda does this with me, that's how I do truly believe it. If I want a question answered, I usually hear it, I'll pick up my Facebook, it'll be right there on Facebook. I'm not looking for it, but I'm now expecting it, just what I wanted to know the answer. I've even turned the television on and heard the answer to my question.
So every night we dream answering a question.
Well, no, we have dreams. We might want to go visit somebody or someone
Still
that's
a
passed.
question.
It's a
question.
Someone that had passed. We can dream of someone that has passed. I believe that's a visitation from them.
Interesting. Okay. I'm so confused.
Do we want to take a commercial break?
We can, so I could
Regroup?
get my thoughts back in place.
Oh dear.
When
Okay,
I walked
guys,
in, I had a plan.
Don't go anywhere. You're going to get a new, revived Freddie when you come back.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Barnard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came into the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and a grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest into art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed a paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she is able to astral a project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life and direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today, authorhouse.com and amazon.com.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Barnard, and you can find my book at authorhouse and amazon.com or visit my art on my clothing in my boutique at artbysallybarnard.com. Now back to the show. Hi. Now that I've got everyone totally confused, call in with questions.
Sally, how do you get?
Everyone the number actually.
How do you get? Yeah, well, before that, how do you get your book?
Oh, you go on to, I'm confused because I'm in another place. Yeah, Amazon, you can go under Call Me Zena and you can buy my book. Or you can go to Author House, my publisher. It's on their site too. You can buy the ebook. And if you just want to ask me questions, and I'm sure there's plenty after today's show, get the ebook. And then you can be reading and ask me what you see, something in here that you want to know more of. So it's entirely up to my viewers how much they want to know, and up to the studio audience here to ask me the questions.
What's
because they're not calling in.
What's the call-in number?
888-954-4995. Am I correct?
Yes.
Good. Studio A.
Studio A.
So here we go.
All right. Ava Patel from Texas.
Hi.
I had an out-of-body experience in a dream, feeling free and weightless. What does this say about my desire for freedom in life?
Well, it's a different sensation. You can't really explain it. I'm me sitting here. I can't suddenly say to you, I'm totally free now and I'm seeing everything. You're usually astral projecting, so that feeling is no mind questioning where you are. Your mind is showing you, in a way, that's what happens to us.
So is it pretty normal?
Very.
Do you think the person wants to live life to the fullest?
No, because once you've experienced that, yes, you want to know more. That's why you come back a little different, because you know that there is something more. We are able to do this. We just don't believe that we can until you start having experiences like that.
What do you think the weightlessness has?
Well, you have no weight. You don't have your body, right?
Or maybe you don't have
You don't have all the you're free,
burden
so
of
to
the
speak.
mind.
You don't have anything other than where you are. You're flying free, and that totally is true, because you don't have the weight of your body, because there's no body, and then you have only what you really want to see, and it's usually very pleasant. Your mind is not going all different ways. That's why people that have this and that remember it and see that are on a quest to know more, because your mind is saying, how did that happen? What happened? Why did you feel so free? Once you've experienced something like that, many, many people have, not everybody does, but most people come back a little different for that reason. Why did I feel like that? I came back and suddenly I was selling at that point. I had to take people on a tour, and I used to go past the same place all the time. I started noticing things that I had never seen prior to me having that happen to me. I noticed trees that I hadn't seen. I noticed so many different things.
They say that 10 pounds of
Is your brain?
of anxiety, of worry, equates to 100,000 pounds of freedom. That's an
Well,
old
that's a good
saying.
way of putting it. Yes, yes. People that have had that, or the viewers that are writing in, would understand that. If you've never had it, it's hard. It's really hard to explain it. But if anybody has not had that, or they're about to have something, because I did not know, I knew nothing about this. It's perfectly normal. I guess the show is about to tell people not to be afraid of what's happening to them. Nothing bad is going to happen. I mean, even though we both screamed help, that's crazy. However, we did get the help. Someone came into my room, someone came into your room.
That's still up in the air,
Well,
because I still don't understand why.
truthfully, and I can ask my guides, Freddie, that was way out there, that we should have the same
Well, now it's way out
experience.
there.
For me, even to have the.
Yeah, but you
Remember,
knew it when we got here.
because I told Dawn the story of what had happened to me that night, and that Steve had
story.
woken me up.
Another
She said to
story.
me, "Go and speak to Freddie," and I'm going, "All right,
Well,
I'll tell
why
him
did
the
you tell her
story."
that?
Because you would
Because
have the
you had
same,
the same
out-of-body
experience.
astral projection experience.
We're back
apparently.
to naming names again.
Whatever it
So
is.
that's for people to know that if they're worried. We obviously had the same type of experience
At the
both
same
Freddie and I,
time.
At the same time.
With the same words.
The same words.
In different rooms.
Exactly. How do you explain that, right? It's impossible to explain
How
it.
do you explain it?
I can explain it because there's so much more going on that we don't know. It wakes you up. In other words, when these experiences happening to you, it helps you begin to understand what we don't know, what's out there that we don't see. To keep an open mind on anything, it changes you. Because you've experienced something different out of the norm. More and more people today in this day and age and now are beginning to begin to wake up. And not from a dream, but to wake up to real reality. It's very real, and a lot of things are happening.
You got more?
Sophia Rodriguez from Illinois writes, I dreamt I was in two places at once, observing myself. So is that three
Well,
places?
that's neat. No, because we are in different places. That's really unique what happened to her, to actually see that, because it's usually just you. But we are in different places too. She actually had a beautiful experience. She saw two yous.
2 years. And this is, what does this mean about my current stress levels?
Well, a lot of these things happen. You know the expression, or when you reach a rock bottom. I'm not saying her because I don't know anything about her, but people get these experiences often when they are under extreme pressure or an anxiety. It's like a way out to show you that there are so much more going on. And if we don't know how to interpret it, the best thing is to call someone up that may be able to explain. Listen to this show, or tell someone to listen to this particular show. It's okay and it's normal. We
Have you
just
ever
don't think
dreamt
it
of
is.
being in two places at one time? Mrs. Extremely Stressful Woman.
Not two places at one time, but I do have dreams, and then I have to bring them to fruition. Like the one I had last week about the plant I needed to find. And then I found it.
You ever
So
have
there's like messages in my dreams.
you ever have a dream and then a continuation the next night?
Sometimes I have a dream and I want to continue it, and I haven't been able to find it
So
again.
just ask Dawn, because
the same one?
sometimes yes, you
Who are
want.
you gonna ask?
If you wake up, and this happened to me a little while ago, I woke up and I really wanted to know more about that dream because I woke up and remembered it, and I went back to sleep and I got a continuation of that dream. It doesn't happen often, but in that particular one I did.
I mean, there's certain dreams you have that are just powerful and you want them to happen again and you want to remember them.
But you can do that. You can just tell. I mean,
Wait
I
a
was
minute,
told.
wait. How are you gonna pick the dream you want?
Well, because it's coming from you can actually say, or I would like to have I'd like to fly. I call it flying. I'd like to fly tonight. You can do that.
I'd like to
Doesn't
fly
always
tonight.
work. There are techniques to do that. I've never used those techniques. It came to me without me even understanding.
You know
it.
people who have picked where they want to be.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot. It's normal.
I've met people that have said they know where they want to travel that tonight, and they
Yeah.
just say, I can't talk to you anymore. I'm going to go travel.
That's
I have to go
exactly
visit
true.
people.
Yep.
And they know
Thank you,
exactly
Dawn.
where they're going,
Thank
and there are
you.
people on the other side, and they
Thank
know
you.
who they want to go visit and who they want to talk to because they missed their loved ones on the other side. And they, however they do it, I don't know how they do it, and they go.
That's right.
And they tell me it's been a beautiful experience. They got to see their bestie
Yep.
and all of these things.
It's real, but you know, we are our own worst enemy because we say, no, it's impossible, I don't understand it, it's never going to happen to me. That a lot of people say, oh, it happens to you, and they've told me that, never going to happen to me. No, it happens to you. Everybody can do this. Everybody. You don't have to be psychic here, you don't have to be a medium. You leave your body at night. Now, a lot of people just are not interested at all and wouldn't even be having the conversation.
I don't know, I'm smashing mirrors apparently in the middle
No,
of the night.
someone did that.
Someone did
Someone
that.
did
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that now you could select where you want to be, how you want to be,
Exactly.
why
And
you want to be there.
normally people that do this, I didn't know it because I'd never heard of it before it happened to me. You actually, when you come back into your body, you get a jerk, you slam like that. And I told Aldo about that because I thought, is this normal? He said, yeah, but or you say to yourself, I don't want to ever have that happen to you again. Or to me, I just say, I'll leave my body, I'm enjoying it, but I don't want to come back with that jerk. And I've never had it again. I can't explain that. He told me to say that, so I did, and I've never had it.
So everyone have an out with a jerk. She'd rather be
When
the
you
nice
come back,
person. No, I'm kidding.
you jerk back into your body. That's a natural thing, I guess. But I don't experience it because I don't want to experience it.
I see. Gotta tell you.
We have a difficult one over there.
He's having a hard time with his concept
Ja-
today.
Jackson Davis from Georgia writes, my out-of-body dream showed me a future version of myself. What does this mean
That
for my
was what I would
personal
now
growth?
call, well, yes, the personal growth on that is fantastic. Forget if it's out of body, astral, it doesn't matter. The personal growth, the reason for that dream was to show him where he's going. And it's amazing to be able to have done that because a lot of people don't.
Do you think people can connect with their loved ones on the other side and go get the message? You can actually travel. Have you traveled, astral projecting, I guess, and talk to Aldo or talk to someone that you love and get a message and then come back?
I actually, in my traveling, I have seen her. I'm getting closer to actually seeing him, but I can't tell you I feel it. So it's not so much in my traveling. But I truly believe that he's picking a time because I need to be where I am because it could frighten me, really frighten me. He doesn't know that. He does now. So people can actually show themselves here. It doesn't even have to be a traveling experience. They can materialize, not for very long, but they can do that. And I know he probably could, but it might scare me. So they also take in consideration who they're dealing, and what people know. I'm ready. Just ask and say you're ready. And if you really believe it, it will happen.
Out of body, and you get to pick where you want to be, who you want to. Unbelievable. Okay. Olivia Martin from Washington, D.C. I was watching myself navigate a challenging situation in my dream. I guess that's what you just said, right?
Yeah.
She wants to know how it relates to the challenges that she has in her everyday life.
Well, it's all tied up because if you want advice, you'd be thinking about what you need the advice for, and this is coming very clearly to me. So you are in your dreamlike state. No matter where you are, if you want to dream about it, mostly the time the solution is there. You often hear, I watch Shark Tank nearly every night. I just like it. It calms me down and I go to sleep. But on Shark Tank, you don't know how many people will say that their invention came to them in a dream. And I picked up on that. It is so true, because you're dreaming that. And I said, oh my gosh, that's just exactly what I would feel that would be happening. And many people on there, you know, the sharks get what they're selling and they help them, and that was all from a dream. So there's
You get to answer questions like you go to bed asking yourself, do I do this or I do that? When you wake up, is the answer revealed?
You can do that. I don't do that often enough, but if there's something that you want the answer to, you have to believe it, Freddie. I didn't understand it, and it happened to come to me, okay? And they gave me many messages. Again, with my artwork, I didn't know that. But all you need to do, really, honestly, is just ask, and you'll have the answers.
So here's a message from Steve. I've taken your advice and asked to go a certain place, yet still nothing. What can I add to my request?
Well, again, it doesn't happen overnight. That's not Steve.
That's your Steve.
Oh, it's Steve. Okay. And he knows this. It doesn't. Well, it's other people with the name Steve. Okay. You have to, well, you do at this point. I know that you believe that it can happen. But it's not like calling someone, even if someone wants a message, I don't dial a number and they're there type of thing. But the more you want to believe this and the more that you understand it, you also have to be ready within yourself. This is also very important, because if you're not, you can scare yourself stupid, you know. And we're all aware of that too. But if you truly, truly want to do this or go there, you can. If you believe you can. There are methods. I have never used the methods because I just went automatically. But there are methods that you can use to get you to that place.
Now, can you be guided to the wrong answer?
Well, yes, actually, that's a good question, because it's not always, yes, of course you can. Just like in life here, someone can tell you something and it's not true, because there's mischievous people too. Spirits are mischievous, but there's a way of protecting. I feel I'm protected, so I believe that what I hear is going to be good for me. But, you know, yes, you could question it and say, I don't know, of course. In fact, it may be a good thing if you're given a message, and think about it. Just don't automatically do whatever they say. Just like here.
You're going to get a message, you're going to argue your message?
No, you're not going to argue it. But
Well, I think you have to interpret the message
Right.
instead of just doing it. Because if it tells you to go do something dangerous or something that doesn't make sense, you have to, I think.
Right, exactly. Even if you're hypnotized, you don't ever actually do anything that would be, that you could kill yourself. They could say, go, once you're hypnotized, you do what they tell you to do.
What if they give you a negative
But
message
if
about
they-
somebody else?
Well, that might be true. But you're not going to jump out of a window if someone tells you to jump out of a window. That won't even happen under hypnosis.
What about they tell me to push that person out the window?
No, you're not going to do that, because you're not going to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do in life. Well, you might. I mean, people are pushed out of windows, but it doesn't happen. I'm saying it shouldn't happen, and most of the time it doesn't happen.
But it
I can't
can.
be sure. I don't know, because I know about hypnotism, being hypnotized a little bit. You don't ever do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do. You're not going to jump. They say jump under a train. You're not going to do that. So I don't know. It's kind of an open-ended question, though. Possible.
That's very open.
Possible. They just told me it was.
Benjamin Taylor from Arizona writes, I felt a sense of peace and calm in my out-of-body dream.
Yep, that's perfect. That's exactly what happened.
What does this say about my current spiritual path?
That he's on his path, because you can't explain. A good way to do this is that you can't really explain the feeling that you've had unless you've had it. He has, so he is on his spiritual path. Anybody that's had this sensation will look at life slightly different, and that goes for everybody, unless they absolutely don't want to know, and then say, it happened, goodbye. But most people that have experienced the weightlessness, the feeling of pure, it's love that they call it, of joy, of meeting people, how can you come back and ever be the same? It doesn't matter if it was an out of body from an accident or an astral dream. It doesn't matter. That feeling is the same. And that's the point. That's the part of what's really important. Now, many people can have that first one and it doesn't come back too, but there are ways to get there. I don't have anything like I used to have in the beginning. I was going all the time for nearly a year. I don't do that as much today, not nearly as much. But I'm learning. I changed. It did its job for me because I became very inquisitive, basically. It's interesting. It's interesting. And then you get somebody that, you know,
A little confused.
but questioning is good, Freddie. Questioning is very good. The confusion part, we have to straighten that out a little bit here.
Well, I have the sense that it's never an answer, it's multiple answers. So that's why I asked. Now, this next question, Charlotte from Michigan writes, I dreamt I was observing myself from a distance, feeling a sense of judgment. Am I being too hard on myself?
A little. That's my first reaction, yes. Because that could be partly that she was there, but she was also something was telling her to judge us. We judge ourselves, but we need to do it. The fact that she knew she was judging is not too bad, but I think that was meant to tell her. It was meant to tell her something, but she was very judgmental, maybe, in what was happening. I don't know, because I can't get an answer. You know, if I knew her, I could say more. I don't know what's going on in her life. It could be something going on in her life.
Interesting. It just gets better and better. Alexander from New Jersey writes, my dream showed me a hidden part of myself. What does this mean about self-discovery?
Perfect, because
That's a good
very good example. It will point things out like that to you. The key is us to take notice of it. They'll give us the messages, no matter how it's done. Me as being a medium that can hear them, you know, in my head. But it will come to you. It's still up to us to interpret. We have free will. We can do what we want. They can give us all the ideas in the world. They can't interfere with that. It's still up to us to follow the path.
But that's an interesting question. So if I were to say to Dawn, have you ever had that kind of observation, something that you don't know about yourself in a dream?
Is that a hypothetical or is that a real question?
Well, we could keep it to protect the innocent, hypothetically. Really?
Something about myself?
Yeah.
No.
I just have to tell the viewers, I love working with these two people, okay? Dawn and Freddie, it's amazing. Thank you for being my guests all the time. I really, really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you with all these difficult questions.
Well, I know for a fact.
No, I love it.
But I know for a fact she has.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not for me to tell your story. But there are things about you you've discovered.
Yes, my spirituality.
And
Yes, my sense of,
did it come to you through a dream?
they've all come to me through a dream.
Then everything that Sally's saying is correct.
yes.
I'm just confused the way she says it.
It's-
Thank you, my son. Thank you.
and it's been a series of dreams, and it's not one after another or one night after another. It's through over time that it just validates a past life. Is
It
what
does,
it does.
because what happens is it doesn't always happen the next day, but you can say maybe a month, even a year later, oh my gosh, yes. And it can come to you. It's up to us to interpret, up to everyone that gets this to interpret it their way.
Yeah.
It's there. The answers are there, no matter how they come. Through someone telling you, through a synchronicity, through a place that you travel to that you feel you might know. It's all there for us. It's up to us to bring it into ourselves and interpret it. Only you or I or Freddie can interpret their own stuff.
And at first, the interpretation doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and then I look into it, and they're
Perfect.
all in alignment with a past life.
Perfect. Well, we figured that out, you know, and we figured it out. We didn't know what life, but when we first met, I'm still working on Freddie. I don't know where I knew him from, but we were lucky enough to recognize that right away. Of course, I feel, truthfully, we've obviously all known each other. It's a certain feeling that you get, or you feel comfortable with someone. And then on the flip side, you can suddenly, someone, let's say, come in here, or you can bump into someone, I don't want any part of this person. It might be good if you have a part of that with that person, because it could be karma that you need to settle. But personally, at this point in my life, it's soon to walk away from that. But
But I was excited about today's show with you because I think that the question you asked hit home. You know, dreams might have their own definition of meaning. And then living your life is part of that definition of life. So that a sentence has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So the dreams could be the middle. So you live your life at the beginning, the dreams are in the middle, and then 1 and 1 equals 2. So 1 and 1, and then 2 is the calculation of both.
And this is life. And that's a very great way of explaining that, because actually, if you think about it, what we do is coming from imagination. Someone isn't necessarily getting our hand and saying they can tell you and guide you, but our imagination starts to work. And I've thought very strongly about this recently. Whatever we do has to start somewhere. So the answer is your imagination, or a thought, whatever you want to call it, or you could see something on a television or something. It still goes back into your own imagination that then produces it in this world. There's no other. That's a great way to maybe understand a lot. So when people say, I can't manifest, I say, yes, you can, because you can manifest. As long as you've brought it into your world, so to speak, whatever you want to do, go ahead, take one step at a time. You're now manifesting something. And if you think negatively, then you know what? That imagination is, I don't want to imagine this anymore. It's not working for me. But so you put the thought there in a positive way, and oh my gosh, they're explaining this to me in a very positive way, and you keep going, this is working. Look, I thought that, and it's working. But if you go, oh, this is never going to work, it's never going to work, because your imagination is telling you it's never going to work. Does that make sense? It's like they were explaining that to me. I have no idea what I just said.
It's Sally plus Aldo equals reality. So if you take her and you add him, so what you're looking at right now is a combination of both things going on at the same time.
Now, from another dimension, that's happening, which is great.
It can get even more complicated, because she can take it to, you could take it to another dimension, you could take it to something else that happens in your life, and then you're able to cross it, because you're able to look at other people in 3 different stages. Just don't realize that you are creating the 3 stages at the end of the game.
That's exactly right, Freddie.
You understand what I'm saying?
But it has to start with a thought. It has to start with a thought.
Completely lost.
Totally lost me.
Well, you discover things about you
Yes.
in a dream. So you add Dawn, you add your guides or your dreams, and at the end, you discover that you too had a calling. People call it a calling. People look in the sky and they say, so this is what you meant. How many times have you told me since Dad passed away, this is what you meant? This is his sense of humor. These are the things that you never looked at when he was alive. You see them now. So that's
And it broadens. It goes more and more. It broadens out there, and you find that people come into your life to help you on that journey too, just as you're helping them. Because once you start that, and that was a great way to explain it, it automatically, we think it's coincidence, and we often talk it's synchronicity. The people come in to help you on that journey, plus they're fulfilling something because you've had an agreement on the other side when you're somewhere else that this is the time and this is when it's going to happen. So it will happen, but we can destroy that too ourselves and say, I don't want any part of this. So it's not going to run smoothly. Just like if we had an idea sitting here and say Dawn didn't like it and I didn't, and much as you might like it, you still might need both of us, whatever it is hypothetical, to fulfill your dream.
Or maybe I just had to find another way of
Or
doing it.
and you know what? Sometimes that I'm not saying in our situation, but outside there are people that have had that same thought that we actually will see. They will come into our lives. We have all the opportunities in this world to do what we want to do. We just don't believe it. And there's so much negativity flying around that it affects even the people that do believe it. They're going, what's the point? Look what's happening. So,
Well, if you believe it, then negativity has no play.
Well, but most people don't believe that. You know,
But that's okay.
and that's okay too, because it isn't their time. But the people that have taken this route, say, that are beginning to wake up, as they call it, which I say waking up, will usually be or are very positive people, because they're where they are because they've taken that negative and put it there and turned it into a positive. Not everybody, but they'll start to become much more positive because they'll start seeing things that are happening that they never thought was going to. They're beginning to think it could happen. That's all it really is.
But I like negative people because then it makes me be more positive.
And that's a good thing, because you're turning their negativity, and if they see that you're so up over something that they can't see, it's that way, you're helping them.
No,
Freddie.
I don't want to. I don't want to help them, and I don't want
But
to
you
change
are.
them.
You don't.
I want them to think for themselves.
But you're doing the right. You are. You know, all that really matters is if you're doing it. Whatever happens after that is entirely up to that person.
That's right.
But if you're trying to help someone, you're doing your job. You're their teacher. You're explaining it. If they don't want to hear it, okay, there's another one waiting there that does. And it took me a very, very long time to learn that. If I get aggravated over whatever it could be, anything, it doesn't matter, and I'm not me, there could be someone that I'm meeting a little later that wants to hear what I have to say. And I cannot help the world, and I don't want to, but that's exactly what happened to me.
That's why sometimes we say, their opinion is none of my business.
But you're still not going to change to the next one. You're going to still, because the next person, they could be standing right next to you, they could make a phone call to you, they could come into the studio. That was the person that needed the help. You cannot help someone that doesn't want to be helped. You can show them and give them an example. Oh man, they're going crazy with me here. You can show them what is the positive in what they're talking about. You can't make anybody do anything unless they're ready. You
Excellent.
Cannot do that. It took me a long time to understand that.
Good, and then you learn another lesson.
And that's what we were meant to do. I love this. They're going crazy.
And then it takes you full circle back to a past and a calling and bloodlines, and you're right back where you
exactly.
started.
But life is so different when you begin to understand and wake up. I mean, I could talk to someone that didn't believe in past lives and explain everything, and they'd just walk out of the room. But someone that has understanding that now, oh, give me more, tell me more, what happened to you? Guess what happened to me? Because there's always going to be a teacher and a student. Absolutely, there's always a teacher.
There's always a teacher, a student, and the outcome. That's why
That's
Scripture
right.
speaks of three.
That's exactly right.
That's why the number
Yeah.
of 3 is so magical.
All right.
This works. What we're talking about, people listening to our show are open, because they wouldn't be listening to the show. They'd just say, oh, leave me alone with that, and they'll switch it off. So that's really the proof, you know?
How do people get your book?
Okay, go onto Amazon and just type in Call Me Zena. My name is Sally Barnard, but at this point I'm sure you all know. Or they can go onto Author House, my publisher, who also sells it. So it's in a paperback.
To Coriander so people can ask you some questions.
Yeah, when is that going to be? The 21st? Okay,
Yes.
I'll write it
You
down.
can come here
Absolutely.
if you want to ride.
Yeah, I might do that if Steve.
Unless Steve is here.
If
Steve
he's
is
here, yeah.
You
But
make him drive.
I just need to know the date. Though.
We
That's
get
the
butter
21st.
chicken the way Tammy gets it, right?
What?
Butter chicken the way Tammy orders it.
Yeah, they changed the formula. The way she made it, they're still doing it that way.
So let me say goodbye to I think I have a minute, but we can use that to say goodbye.
Say goodbye,
Okay, and
Mara.
my art on clothing is still out there. So if you go into my website, please take a look. Just a look, and then see what you like and buy it. And if not, just ask me a question about it. And maybe I can paint something that you do like.
So it's still available?
It's still available. My
Oh, okay.
website is up there.
Has that shipping stuff gotten better?
I truthfully, I don't know, because what happened is mostly the problem was the tariffs at one point, because I was getting so much from China. But I think it's all working itself out, just like the government is.
What's the matter?
Just looking for the buzzer. All right.
So we're,
It's gonna ring.
bye-bye everybody, and I'll see you all this time next week. Bye. Safe travels.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Barnard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybarnard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.